Hey traders, let's have a quick look at all the indexes, long-term and short-term. Let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There are so many areas you need to become good at to become a good trader. Emotional mastery, chart reading, trading systems, money and trade management. So this video is just educational only to help you become a much better trader. Alright traders, so I wanted to share some things with you today on what I'm seeing now in the markets. Obviously the markets, most of the markets had a nice move to the high side. The actual Russell almost had a 1%. Everything else is basically 0.5% and below with the indexes. The VIX also rose a little bit as well too. So let me actually show you what I'm seeing here on the chart itself. Let me bring up the weekly chart here. This is the weekly Dow Jones. And if I bring up the monthly, what does the monthly show? So the monthly is still showing quite a nice bounce off what we got here. You see the market actually closed there. This was last month, and this month here you can see the monthly bar came back down. It's bounced off this level here, and now we're just continuing to rise up. Now we are getting more and more and more into August as obviously the days go on, and you can see this is just continue bouncing up. So this is obviously potentially building some sort of a picture here. We don't know what that is yet, but we can see that if I draw this trend line up through there, that trend line up through there, you can see that definitely going on through there. So you can see it's bouncing off through there. If I bring up the weekly chart, let's go to the weekly chart here. All right, so this is the weekly chart now of that. Let me just remove that. Let me remove that because that's more on the monthly chart. But you can see what's happening here on the week by week basis. You can see it came down, bounced off here. And now these last couple of weeks so far, now this is obviously this week here. This week hasn't really done much yet. But last week was pretty bad follow through, right? And now we're just edging up higher and higher and higher. We're still slowly edging up here. So right now, guys, it's such a tricky situation to be in. It's like we're all-time new highs and you know, you're getting a lot of bearishness. And guys, sometimes one thing I've learned from my mentors in the past is that sometimes the best trade you take is no trade. Sometimes you just need to take a step back, and that's basically what I've been doing. I've just been taking a step back. I haven't been doing a lot of trades apart from the VIX. Actually on the indexes, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm waiting for that right time. Sometimes the best trade you take is no trade. Now moving on to the actual daily chart with my indicators, you can see that we're actually edging just a little bit higher than obviously this top of this resistance line is. So we're still hitting this resistance here, still getting that potential divergence, but we are still, this volume is still tapering off and tapering off quite low. I would expect to see in the late August into September some volume, big volume to actually start to come in. As this market's been going up, the volume has been tapering off. Generally that's a sign of reversal, because then the volume comes back in and we actually get a reversal. So that's generally a sign of reversal, and we're getting this here. So again, I'm more bearishness than bullishness, but I'm not going to be placing a trade based on that. There is no real setup for me. Now let's actually go and have a look at the other markets here. The S&P 500. Whoops, there we go again. So the S&P 500, let's go have a look at the long-term charts here. And this is just, let me go look at the monthly chart. So monthly chart, once again, we had this nice breakout on a monthly chart through there, and you can see where it is right now. You can see it sort of compressing up on this whole resistance line, support line coming back up. And now we're sort of holding through here. Really interesting to see what's happening here. I love watching this story unfold because the chart is always telling me what's going on here. Obviously they're very strong right now, but I'm seriously waiting. If we get a drop below, if we get some sort of this action, guys, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting basically for that. If that happens, we're likely to do this sort of action. So that may not happen. So that's basically what I'm waiting for. So you can see that on the monthly chart. On the weekly chart, let's go to the weekly chart here. So on the weekly chart, you could see that we're just in such a we're basically in this, it had this big run up and now we're slowly running up, and generally that leads to a move down generally, but again we need to see that confirmation. Now if it does break up and out, then that generally leads to more upside. so that's it's a very tricky situation. But I'm also still seeing, what I'm seeing right now is that what's happening here, guys, is that we're getting very weak movement on the upside. You can see just slowly crawling up, and ever since the market's been going up, this volume's been going down, and we're getting this potential weekly or potential divergence. We're actually getting that divergence now. It's actually starting to form now. So very tricky to see what's going on through there, guys. Let's quickly have a look at the other markets. But the Russell's not really doing much. Let me actually just go to the Nasdaq here, and I want to see what's going on the bigger picture of Nasdaq. Let's go to the monthly chart. So monthly chart on the Nasdaq right now as we speak, it's just poking its head, as you can see, just above its previous high here. If I squeeze my chart all the way up though, you can see the high, basically the high for this high over here in the dot-com boom was basically there on this Nasdaq. So Nasdaq high was 5,131, and we definitely beat that. And we've had a big rally back up towards that point through there. So definitely really interesting to see what's happening here, guys. We're at these major areas of resistance. Does it keep going up or does it not? It's definitely hard to say. I doubt it, but I doubt it's going to keep going up, especially when seeing this move. It just goes up and up. We're definitely, this week here, it's broken out to all-time new highs on the Nasdaq. So I'm sorry, Bo Polly, but you keep saying that. That's for a separate video. So this market's had a big run up. It's broken up above these highs here, and now it's just sort of like, So guys, if you're confused about what's going on in the markets, welcome to pretty much everyone's world out there. There's a lot of bearishness out there as well too. A lot of bearish signs. Again, if we bring up this here, we're getting such low volume, like volume's tapering off. We're getting this slow run up to the high side, and now we're getting this divergence through here. So I'm bearish on this, guys. I'm expecting some volume to come in soon. I'm expecting the market to drop off. I'm expecting the VIX to spike. So especially when I'm seeing things like this, I'm like, hang on a minute, what's going on here? So but the thing is, the market can keep going up, and this is just a sign here. But this here can just keep doing this for another week if it wants to, and then it finally breaks. So but looking at this big move up, guys, I'm just tell you right now, it just does not look good. Now, looking on that, there's basically the update on the indexes. Now, sometimes I like to look at this. Where's my all indexes? So sometimes I like to look at this sort of graph here. And what I'm looking for, guys, is I know you guys can't see it much, but what I like to do is I like to just to squeeze my chart up just enough, just to start to see whether what's going on here. And guys, I'm looking at this chart here, and when I'm doing my chart reading, hear me out here. I have studied my ass off charts. I am not the fundamental guy. I'm the chart guy. And when I study charts and I look at charts and I see what's going on and I see what's happening right now, I see nothing but bearishness on these charts right now as we speak. Now, yes, the market can keep going up. That's why I'm not trading this, because there is no real defined setup. But I see nothing but bearishness on these charts. Let me explain what I say here. Now, I know this looks very all squeezed up and you can't see it. So let me just, I'm just going to leave it there. This is the Dow Jones to the left here, guys. So the first thing is that I see we've had this massive run up. We've hit a high. We've come back down, and we've made a slight higher high. Now, now the thing is, guys, is this: when a market has a big run up and then does something like that, that's generally a reversal point for at least a 50% move to the downside. I have seen that more times than not when you get a big run up like that. Coincide with the divergence and the low volume, that is a weak sign. This market's rallying to new highs on low volume. That alone is saying there's no follow through, because you guys know, right? If you break into new highs and there's no volume, that's a bad sign. Look at the S&P. This is the S&P chart. Big run up, and then we've had this slowly crawling up. Again, we've got that happening. So we've had a big run up and we're just slowly crawling up. The buys there are weak. We've got low volume or tapering off volume, and we've got divergence on our indicators. The divergence is saying something here. And again, guys, it doesn't work all the time. We're looking at the probability of something happening here. Same for the Russell. The Russell's ran up and we're doing this sort of stuff. And what are we getting? We're getting the divergence on the stochastics, and we're getting the tapering off in volume as well too. And obviously also the Nasdaq, but the Nasdaq to me is the one that's going to snap back the hardest. The reason why is because we've just had such an astronomical, let me make a line out of that, such an astronomical move to the high side. It's had such an acceleration move to the high side. Whenever this happens, and also guys, we're actually getting that tapering off in volume like this. That's the volume. And we're starting to get this sort of action on the indicators. This here is, there's more bearishness than bullishness right now as we speak in this very moment. And there has been for the last week. But we're just still slowly edging higher, So I am expecting real soon, I don't know when, but I'm expecting real soon that we're going to get a pretty hard snapback. Now, I'm not calling for a crash. I'm calling like, maybe move back down towards 18,000, maybe 18,100, 18,000. Or, a snapback, then a snapback out of the Russell like this here. And that S&P, and then a snapback, like a nice decent pullback out of the Russell, and especially the Nasdaq, like a nice snapback down towards the 5,000 level, somewhere around there. I'm expecting that. Now, whatever happens after that, we don't know. But as I speak right now, everything is bearish on this. Yes, the market's making new highs, but it's making new highs with weak follow through. So we're not getting good movement to the high side, meaning weak buyers on the charts. Secondly, we're getting low volume. Thirdly, we're getting divergence on our indicators. So anyway, guys, that's it for me. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today. I'm not going to BS you here. Trading is hard. Over my 10 years of trading, I've learned some amazing systems and strategies, and I've put it all in my brand new Grab the Markets by the Balls course. And I'm giving you 100% free access. This whole course is 12 videos long and almost 10 hours of the best systems and strategies that I know. Click on the image below now to get 100% free access right now.